once again.
Hello? Did you miss me?
Hey everybody! I told you we wouldn't disappoint. We would be back with a part 2. Not a liar, but it took us a little bit, but we are here to deliver part 2, which will include Scream 5, Scream 6. We will touch on Scream 7. Like I said, we're not spoiling. It is available to rent, buy on digital if you want to pay $24, $25, $30, fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I am Jay Severe. This is Nicturnal. Welcome back to the Horror Hideaway. Let's get into it. All right. So when we last left our co-hosts, we left with Scream 4.
Right.
And this kind of started the requel series. But before we jump into that, my so eloquent co-host is very thirsty, as am I.
Oh boy.
We're going to jump into Spirits of the Night a little earlier than anticipated, but it will be definitely well worth it. So last time we did The Final Girl, which was more about, the survivor. This is going to heavily lean more into Ghostface, this one. So we have what is called the Ghostface Call. It's a little bit black on top, some red on the bottom. You get a little bit of you have a Sour Patch Gummy on the top, as well as some blackberry. You'll get a Spirits of the Night promo right now.
When the phone rings, do you answer?
But this is blackberry vodka. You get some more of the cherry red liqueur. So cherry liqueur for my fans out there. You get a tiny bit of simple syrup, lime juice in there, and a little bit of floated grenadine on the top to give the blood effect, so to speak. We had fun with this one because you're supposed to put black food coloring. It is supposed to be a little bit darker than this. But I found out quickly if you use cake icing, is that what it is?
I thought I had black food coloring. I have cake icing, right? Like happy birthday.
It's an honest mistake.
Doesn't work.
Yeah. What ends up happening, for those of you who've never done this before, you can't drink it, but you'll be unhappy with the result. You get this nice little swirl of black goo on the bottom. Looks cool for an effect if that's what you're trying to do, but it does not really stir well with the drink. So make sure when you're doing it, and if you want it to look a little bit more dark for your presentation, use black food coloring, avoid the icing. All right, let's dig into part 2 of episode 4.
All right.
Cheers. Clink. That is very good.
I did. I'm just not going to eat it till after. I don't want to be chewing Sour Patch Kid with the audience watching.
So eloquent and shit. So we'll enjoy our drinks, and as promised, we'll tackle those movies. After we tackle those 3 movies, no spoilers for 7, as I've promised. We will do our reality bites. We did not do it last episode, and that is because it will very much tie into all of the movies. We will be doing what is something called The Scream Murders. It is on Hulu right now. Very good documentary. We will connect the dots on how this fits into our movies here that we're doing, the whole Scream Legacy. If you have not watched it yet, I will give you a spoiler because we will go into it a little bit and some things in there. So if you really want to watch the documentary and get all of those elements into it and the shock value of it, or if you know the story, you already know the story. But it's very well done, and it connects very well to the Scream franchise. So we will get into that. Scream 5.
Right.
Well, as we know, Scream 4 to Scream 5 was 11 years?
Yeah,
It was
about
11 years, 2011. This was 2022, just, I think, shy after our COVID stuff stopped. We got hit with Scream 5. I don't think anyone expected this movie either. I think we pretty much thought we were done after 4.
Yeah.
Because Wes had passed away. We really didn't have... We had Kevin Williamson, obviously a fantastic writer. He wrote Scream 5, 6, and 7. But he did not direct 5 and 6. Those were actually directed by some, well, not lesser known, but other individuals who did different horror type films. I don't know the names off the top of my head. I will have them here in in a moment. But long story short, they did Abigail. They did some other series. I think they did fantastic with Scream 5 and Scream 6. I mean, we wouldn't get a 7 without those movies, to be honest with you. But ironically, they did not make as much as Scream 7 did.
No.
You remember what they've made so far?
What?
Scream 7, how much, like, globally that movie's made thus far?
Like 200 million?
Yeah, it's like 200 million. And for those who are diehard horror fans, that doesn't happen very often. I don't think it's happened a lot.
Well, I think it was because 5 and 6 were so well received. And
Yeah. So Scream 5, not to get completely off track, this one introduces brand new characters, completely brand new. We get Jenna Ortega. She leads us off in this movie in a very brutal fashion.
Do you remember the beginning?
Not really. I mean, it started with the kill scene, right? They always started with the kill scene.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's a girl at home, alone. She answers a wrong number and starts talking with the killer who makes her play a game.
I think you kind of even remember this one. This was a pretty awkward kill, to be honest. I don't think I've ever seen someone get destroyed so much in an opening movie and survive. That was the biggest twist. She survived.
The whole plot was to get her sister back.
Yeah, in town.
Because they had to rush her to the hospital, and she was in there for a while. Her sister, who had moved away years prior and hasn't even been back to visit.
Woodsboro.
And got a call that her sister's in the hospital, and that is what made her return to Woodsboro.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. And the sister, who's played by Melissa Barrera, great actress. She twist that you find out. I won't say not too early in the movie, but pretty early on.
The nerve of that girl, right?
Really not in the mood right now.
She is the daughter of one of the first killers, Billy Loomis.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it tackles an interesting thing in the movie. You have someone who's battling some major psychosis, some major issues with living with the legacy of her father. Father was a very notorious serial killer at that point. And to be fair, he kicked off all of these Ghostface killings. So you have to live with that at this point.
Right.
And if I remember correctly, they don't really get much into the mom. I know the mom is like largely absent. We talked about this.
Yeah, they don't mention the mom really at all, which is interesting because he was obviously dating her while dating Sydney.
Yeah.
She had her around the time when he was in high school. Yeah. Obviously, because that would be before he died.
Yeah.
So, the fact, they didn't really touch on the fact that he was cheating on Sydney. But also, my thought is, in his head, maybe he wasn't cheating because he might not have looked at Sydney like a real relationship.
No.
Because he was dating her just to get back at her.
Whoa. You still think it's me?
Does a mass murdering serial killer look at any relationship as a serious relationship?
So,
that's a good question.
Was her mom the real girlfriend?
We don't know.
We just never knew.
Or it was wham bam, thank you, ma'am, and whoops. Pretty much.
Yeah, either or.
Yeah, it's very possible. I mean, it is high school, so. But yeah, we introduce her. She is basically visited by a ghost, which is her father. She sees him constantly in visions and mirrors, and pretty freaky. You get to see Skeet Ulrich like de-aged a lot, and he's very still much Billy Loomis.
I mean, he looks really good for his age now, but he doesn't look like he did in Scream 1. So yeah, they did some work there.
Yeah, so we get those new characters. We also get some fun characters that we adore, and they've carried on throughout the entire series. That would be Randy's niece and nephew.
Yeah.
I love the two of them. They are hilarious.
Yeah, they're basically...
Mindy and Lucas.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mindy and Lucas. They are great. They add...
mini...
What's that?
They're mini versions of him.
Oh, yeah. Especially Mindy. Mindy very much carries on Randy's legacy very well. She hits it very good. And she kind of explains how the rules have changed a lot.
She takes over that role from him.
Yeah. She's very schooled on the newer age of horror, elevated horror, psychological horror, everything that kind of changed after Randy's untimely demise in Scream 2. So she definitely goes over the rules in a whole new fashion.
I mean, Jordan Peele fucking rules. Obviously, but that's not Stab. Real Stab movies are meta slasher whodunits, full stop.
And to kind of let everyone know, not only is everyone a suspect, but this also could very well tie to what happened in the past.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting, and all bets were kind of off from the beginning of that movie. We also get Jack Quaid. He plays the boyfriend, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
He plays Melissa Barrera's boyfriend. He actually lives with her. I forget where they live before she rushes back, but it seems like it's kind of far away.
Yeah, well, like a couple hours because they're
Maybe like Texas or something. I really don't know, but he's definitely the boyfriend. Kind of goofy, quirky. Basically, Jack Quaid. If you're not familiar with him and The Boys and other things that he's done, he plays himself. If you meet him in person, he still plays himself. It's very much the same. Great guy.
Very nice guy.
Very nice guy. Yeah, and overall, he just seems very unassuming throughout the entire movie. It's hilarious. And then we also get Mindy's, I guess it's like her girlfriend. They didn't really say it, but they seem kind of friendly that way. Amber.
Yeah, I don't think it was her girlfriend.
Not per se. Oh, maybe it was more Jenna Ortega's friend. That's how they went about it.
Well, in the beginning, before she gets stabbed,
Yeah.
That's who she thought she was talking to, Amber, remember?
Yes, that's correct. Right. Yeah. Yeah, Amber would be the other one. There are a couple of other characters, a little lesser known that are in it. But
what she probably was talking to.
Say again?
She probably was talking to Amber actually, but she didn't know.
Oh, on the phone in the opening.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very possible.
Because jumping a little ahead, but
yeah,
she does be revealed as one of our killers.
Yeah. Yeah, it's another duo at this point. Yeah, we end up with Richie, who's Jack Quaid's character, Amber, who's the other one, which was very surprising. I'll admit they did some really good character development in Scream 5. I did not suspect Jack Quaid. I did not suspect Amber at all.
No.
Which one?
What's his name in the movie? I forgot Jack Quaid's name. We keep calling him
Richie.
Richie.
Richie, yeah.
Yeah, Richie. Richie did such a good job of being like so surprised by Ghostface.
Nice to meet. We met. Sam, please get in the car so we never have to see these people. Oh, okay. I vote for not going back to the murder hospital.
He's like, he didn't.
Surprised, worried, scared. Like,
yeah.
He almost seemed like, he was going to be a victim at any point in the movie. Like, or he was just going to be like that guy that gets painted as the killer because he's the boyfriend and ends up like Jerry O'Connell did in Scream 2.
I mean, there was even the point when Ghostface was in the hospital. And he sees Ghostface and he goes, "Oh shit, Ghostface!"
Yeah, oh shit, it's Ghostface. Runs off.
And runs off.
Ever.
Which we later find out it was his partner.
Yeah, it was his partner.
He was very good at playing it off.
Yeah.
One of the best at playing it off.
Yeah, if you watch Scream 5 and you never had before, sorry you got some spoilers here, but you go into it thinking somebody from the past is doing this, possibly. I had a couple of inklings of Dewey being a little weird and maybe finally losing it.
Well, at that point, Dewey had
he's in depression
moved into a trailer.
Yep.
His marriage had collapsed.
Yep.
Gail went to, I assume, either LA or New York to further her news career. And he was just a big mess. He gave up, he resigned as sheriff, moved into a little tiny trailer in the middle of nowhere.
It's very depressing to see.
Yeah.
So somebody throughout the series up until this point was very much like the light of the movies. He was always like that guiding person. He was always trying to do the best for everybody. Kind of like that one like focal point where the final girls, Gail and Sydney, if you didn't watch the last episode, I called them co-final girls. They kind of are. They leaned on him a lot. They really did. And just to kind of see him in this light of he's given up.
It shows Scream 4 took a toll on him.
It did, yeah.
It was like, I guess by that point, it was so many years of Ghostface and so many years of...
He's over it.
He was just over it, and after his marriage crumbled, I think he really just gave up.
Yeah, he did. And it just took a little bit of some killings to happen again in Woodsboro for him to kind of go, not again.
And when they first go and approach him...
Absolutely not.
I'm being so bad with names tonight, I'm sorry.
Mindy?
No, Melissa.
Oh, Melissa's character, Samantha.
Samantha.
Yeah.
I am sorry, my brain right now.
It's okay.
Samantha and Richie, right?
Yeah, Samantha and Richie visit
Which is
him.
funny.
Yeah.
So they go visit him to bring him back to go find out who Ghostface is. So this is the first time Ghostface seeked out someone to find Ghostface, when you think about it.
Well, if you're trying to take the target off your back,
Yeah.
you go along with it, I would think, right? And you never know, it might have been all part of his plan, because what ends up happening, and this is probably one of the most rough things you watch in the movie, is Dewey is murdered. He's murdered in the hospital.
Right.
I remember Ghostface goes back to finish the job.
Though when they went to go see him, he didn't even want to come at first. He was like, "No, I'm done with this." You know, he's like, "My biggest advice to you is just watch your back."
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was just over it.
Don't trust anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
I think it took he called Gail, right, to warn her.
He did.
And Sydney, and I think it was after those calls he realized he should go and
Well, yeah, they should go help. I don't think he knew yet Sydney was coming back, but he had a pretty good idea Gail was coming back, so that was enough for him to kind of go.
And it was a sweet reunion when Gail got there. And this was after we forgot to talk about that. When Dewey resigned, the new sheriff in town was Deputy Hicks from
Deputy Hicks, Judy.
She became Sheriff Hicks.
Yes.
And actually, her son was friends with the group. He was the other one.
Gary, what was it?
West, and I think he was named for Wes Craven.
Oh, shoot.
This is the first movie after Wes Craven died.
Yeah, it was kind of an ode to him in a sad way, because Wes does not make it.
No, he was actually one of the first kills, I would say, right?
He's in the middle. I wouldn't say he's actually one of the main kills. This
one
is
of the big main kills. Like, there was a couple back characters that got killed, but one of the main ones out of the friend group and stuff that got killed.
Yeah,
and
he was one of my suspects at one point. I remember that. I
thought so too, and I thought it was because he's the sheriff's son, and you know, he was just going to do something to rebel against his mom, and what a better way than to be the Ghostface. But no,
it would have been an interesting character arc, because you have your mom who's like this big time small town sheriff who captured Ghostface 11 years ago. It's probably all she talks about.
And that's probably how she got her promotion to sheriff when Dewey resigned.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. So,
but we also lose Deputy / Sheriff Hicks too.
Yeah. Well, it was an interesting way it was done, because Ghostface, whichever one, I don't know who could have done this, because I think they were both missing in action at this point.
Could have been both.
Could have been both, yeah.
Because it seemed at times in that house, it was like he was in two places at once.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe they both teamed up. We'll never know. Like I said, they don't really ever discuss who killed who.
One might have targeted Wes and one targeted
maybe Deputy Hicks, yeah. Maybe it was Amber. I know Amber did not like her, if you kind of remember the beginning.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening, Wes goes home, takes a shower, unassuming, alone.
And Sheriff Hicks says she's going to go grab some ramen for dinner. Or was it sushi?
She's grabbing something for dinner.
So she leaves the house to go drive to get the takeout.
Yep, she leaves.
And while she's driving, she gets the call from Ghostface.
Sheriff Hicks.
Hello, Sheriff Judy.
Who is this?
I think you know. I'm a fan of scary movies and knives. What's your favorite scary movie?
I prefer animated films and musicals.
Yeah, who totally toys with her emotions at this point. And to even her best credit, she was trying to trace the phone and do all this stuff. And basically they threatened her son, Wes.
She calls her deputies to go to her house right away.
Yeah.
And this is my one, I don't know if it's a hot take or just my rant of the night.
That's fine.
What is with the cops in Woodsboro?
Oh, no.
This is a sheriff calling that her house is being targeted. She calls the deputies, and the son is doing all these things, and no deputy arrives.
Yeah.
And this is how he dies, because he gets out, he takes a shower, gets out of the shower, gets dressed, goes downstairs to the kitchen, he gets water or drink or something, then he walks he's doing so much. By this time, those deputies should be there. This is not a big town. This isn't a city. It's a small town.
Yeah, and maybe it's grown a little bit since, the 90s, I would guess, but...
Not that, and when you put your little, your lights and sirens on, the two cars on the road should get out of the way.
Yeah.
It really irked me. I was like,
I think what bothers you more is how often Woodsboro deals with serial killers and Ghostface masks. You would think they'd have a protocol maybe at this point, Ghostface, something or whatever. I don't know for certain, but
they don't even have a sense of urgency for the sheriff's house.
Yeah.
Like Schmo Joe, what's that saying? Schmo Joe, whatever town the street.
Schmo Joe. Schmojo Town.
Whatever. Down the street doesn't have a chance. So,
I mean, they could take pointers from the Haddonfield Police Department because I'll be honest with you, at least even in the Halloween movies, the newer ones, which we'll do another time, they honestly get there pretty quickly a lot of times. And
that's what's
maybe it takes 30. Maybe it takes 30 years.
Movies is because they get there, but they always seem to get there right after all the killings.
30 years is the time, I guess, for when they figure it out.
Not only do they not get there by the time the son dies.
Oh yeah, there's more insult to injury here. Actually,
Sheriff Hicks returns home.
Yeah.
Now she turned her car around.
I think she was on the other side of town almost.
Yeah, she was almost at wherever she was going to get takeout. Instead of getting the takeout, obviously she turns around to go back home. She gets home, still no deputies.
Nada.
So she runs out to go confront, and Ghostface comes outside. There's a big showdown, and she ends up dead. And still no deputy.
Nothing. I think as they had probably been gone for a little bit, and then finally they showed up and realized their sheriff met an untimely demise. Womp womp womp.
I mean, I think maybe somebody wanted to become sheriff so bad they were like, "Oh, we'll take our time."
Hey, it's possible, or they really wanted Dewey back really badly. I don't know, but for those in the Woodsboro Police Department, drop a comment and find out what is up with allowing Sheriff Hicks to get murdered that easily. It's bad. Yeah, we poke a lot of fun at the cops, but to be fair, police officers have a very tough job. Unfortunately, the horror movies do not do them justice.
They do not show that at all.
No, they don't.
You don't want those cops in your town.
No, you don't want the Woodsboro Police Department serving your community. That's very obvious. But yeah, I mean, just to be fair, when we get into reality bites and all these different things, the amount of detective work, the amount of police work that goes into a lot of this stuff with the screen murders, which I'll talk about later, it's phenomenal. And just sometimes you see extra dumb criminals, that's all I'm going to say. And it helps out. But, movies are movies. This is what sells them, all the extra, the gore, and, the cops don't do what they should be doing. Because if they did, obviously you'd have no movie at the end of the day. So, yeah, unfortunately, yes, Hicks is done. I think after this point, we get a reunion. This is when Sydney, Gail all come back.
First comes and Dewey, and they have a really cute reunion.
She seemed kind of sad about Deputy Hicks, too,
and
Gail.
She did seem sad, even though she was very mean to her in 4.
She was.
But I think she probably realized Deputy Hicks was not the problem in her marriage. They had deeper problems.
They did.
And she did kind of save her life in the end of 4.
She did, yeah.
So I think, that would be
and
sad.
Maybe they traded lemon square recipes after all.
Maybe they did. Maybe she actually likes them now.
Who knows?
But then Sydney comes, and then
Sydney
they have
comes
the
back.
whole reunion with them, and it's really cute.
Yep.
But then they all go to the hospital.
They all go to the hospital.
And the reunion is short-lived.
Yeah, it's very short-lived because Tara is now in jeopardy. And as you know, at this point, Jenna Ortega's character, Tara, she's in the hospital recovering from injuries. Like, she had her foot broken, multiple stab wounds. Like, it almost seemed like at this point she was going to be in the hospital for a while with recovery. So she obviously escapes again, which is insane. Yeah. It's one thing to survive the opening kill. It's another to get attacked a second time in the same movie, injured, and still make it.
This girl is basically the Michael Myers version of the final girl.
Yeah.
She just never dies.
And that's
what happens.
And that's the other thing too. So this is the funny thing with the newer Scream reboots. You have co-final girls again with Tara and Samantha. Mm-hmm. They are sisters, which makes it a little bit different. The dynamic of sisterhood is really, really heavily brought up in the next 2 movies. But they are definitely co-final girls.
It starts with this movie because Tara tells her sister at the hospital. At first, when Samantha shows up, Tara isn't that happy to see her because she has kind of been out of her life now for 10 years.
Yep.
Missed basically her whole teen years. And Samantha is telling her, like, I want to protect you, but she doesn't want to tell her the truth about her background.
Yeah.
And so she's just trying to make amends without telling her the whole story.
Yep.
Well, finally, I think the second time she gets attacked, she decides to tell her everything.
Yeah.
And it's not very well
pretty.
received. She basically throws her out of the room, tells her, I don't want to see you. Like, you know.
Yeah, it's not a very happy reunion, especially after that whole, explaining I'm the daughter of a notorious serial killer.
Right.
And it wasn't over the fact that she's the daughter of Billy Loomis. It was the fact that she hid this from her kid sister and felt like, she couldn't entrust her with this big secret. She wasn't, I guess in her vision.
Well, and one of the big reveals was also that her father, her stepfather, I guess, and Tara's father ended up leaving because he had always thought that Samantha was his daughter.
Yeah, that's right.
And so
Mom's a twisted individual.
now thinking of that, maybe she was just a wham bam thank you ma'am, because she was obviously dating this guy.
Yep.
At the same time, this is messier than a soap opera.
Yeah, Woodsboro. I don't know. They got more twists and turns than a 90210 episode.
Yeah. So she gets pregnant by Billy, but lets the boyfriend thinks it's his. So he ends up raising Samantha as his own, and she never tells him until Samantha is when she was about 13 or 14.
No, but it's because Samantha found pictures or something.
Yeah, she was in the attic.
She questioned her about it.
She found not only pictures, but I think letters.
Letters
that explained who the real father was.
Yeah.
And when she confronted her mother.
Diary.
Yeah, or is it diary? Yeah.
Yep.
When she confronted her mother, she didn't know her dad was home, and he was, and he heard the whole thing.
Yeah.
And that's how he also found out that wasn't his real daughter.
Yeah.
And so the father ends up leaving. There's a divorce. It causes
It's a huge mess.
A rift in the family. And then a couple years later, when she graduates high school, she ends up leaving. And little Tara doesn't understand what's going on.
Happened?
Why the dad left. Why the mom was depressed and angry now. And then why her sister leaves after high school and never comes back.
Yep. Yeah. That would make anyone at that point probably very angry because you're trying to figure this all out through your teen years, which is already uncomfortable probably. A lot of different things going on.
Yeah.
And to come to find out all this stuff was hidden from you because, you probably were not, emotionally mature enough to handle it or whatever Samantha told her. Yeah. But they end up reconciling. Obviously they needed to at this point. And long story short, Ghostface is, doing Ghostface things throughout the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
We get to the hospital, and this is where our long-time friend Dewey does not make it.
This is where the short-lived reunion, because they get to the hospital, and Ghostface obviously shows back up after this fight they have, and so they're trying to protect Tara and move around, and Dewey gets involved, and he tries to save the day, but this time...
No, he sacrifices himself. That's what I remember. He gets the girls to the elevator.
Right.
And then he ends up being
That's why he tried to save the day by protecting the girls.
Yeah, he shoots them.
And I don't think he wanted to die. I think he was hoping he could defeat Ghostface again. But we are talking about an older Dewey, a very bruised up Dewey. Dewey he has a limp. He can't very much walk anymore. He's a mess.
He is not a day over 12 anymore. He's a day over 112.
Yeah, he's aged a lot.
But yes. So Amber doesn't Dewey. He does sort of save the day, but unfortunately, he does not make it out.
All the girls and
they live to fight another day.
End up reconciling. They realize, life's too short. We should get over this and try to make amends over everything. She decides that they need to get out of there. That she's going to take Tara and Richie, and they're going to hightail it out of Woodsboro and get to safety, not knowing that they were with one of the killers.
Well, they had one hiccup because remember, one of the killers is there the entire time, which is Richie. So as they are trying to leave, and this one hits close to home for you because you are someone who suffers from asthma, as does Tara in the movie. So Richie, because we do not know he's the killer yet, gets this clever idea to take her inhaler and bring it to Amber's house at this point, where there's like a party going and they weren't going to go to it.
Oh, and fun fact. Amber lives in
Stu Macher's house.
Macher's
Yeah.
old house. Yes.
Yeah, that house is cursed.
So
officially.
they're having another party when they all should be on a lockdown and for curfew, but nope, they're having another
no one
party
no one
at Stu
listens.
Macher's house.
He should have came back from then and hosted it himself.
Yeah, and no, he just hides the inhaler. Tara says that she needs her inhaler, and she knows Amber has a spare one at her house.
That's what it was, a spare one.
And
He
she-
hid the actual. Yeah, you're
and
right. I'm
she
sorry.
said that Amber's house is closer.
Yeah.
So we should go over there because
they were debating on going to like the pharmacy or something to get
back
it.
to her house where I think she has another inhaler.
Yeah.
Her house was further away.
I just remember Amber's house ended up being the better decisions. They were closer to it, and it was almost like it all became part of the plan for the two killers to do this.
Right.
So they officially meet up at Amber's house, aka Stu Macher's old kill house, and party, all those things going on. Tara disappears, goes upstairs. At this point, different things are going on. I know the twins, they get involved in something because Luke is dating a girl. She goes missing. He gets stabbed.
Well, they were both making out with people. And,
so was Mindy.
He didn't want to go up to the room with the girl because basically you shouldn't be alone during mass
murdering sprees.
And then also you shouldn't trust everybody. So he didn't even know if he could trust his girlfriend.
Yep.
So she got mad and stormed away.
That's right. And then she gets it next. And then he goes chasing after her, and I think he tries to ring her phone or whatever.
Yeah,
he gets stabbed. We think he's dead too. I thought he was done.
He's another one that lasts a lot.
Yeah,
been through a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, he gets it, and then I know Mindy. She tries to escape and all this stuff.
Well, she was doing a Randy. She was sitting on the couch watching horror movies. And while all the craziness was going behind her,
Same thing. It's like history repeats itself.
Yeah, and there was even where Ghostface was behind her at one point.
Watch out, Jamie. Come on, man. Turn around. Turn around, dude. Jamie, I told you. I told you. He's around the corner. Jamie, look behind you.
Oh, Randy, look behind you.
Behind you. Turn around.
Look
Jamie.
behind.
Jamie.
Yeah.
I remember that. I sat there laughing. I was like, what are the odds? Good writing. It's pretty funny.
So, there's all that craziness going on, and then we get the reveal.
Yeah. We get the reveal. The interesting part about this movie, this is the only thing that I was like, meh, was the motive. The motive was just strange. And for being a horror fan, I can understand it. People go a little too off the rails sometimes. But Richie and Amber, they met on a horror chat line and whatever. It seems to be where all these killers meet up nowadays. You go back to some of the earlier movies with Mrs. Voorhees and Mickey. They met online, and these two met online because they had a shared interest in horror and the stab movies, of course.
And he loved that she lived in Stu Macher's house.
Yep, he loved that too. And
I don't know if she was aware of before she started chatting.
She never mentioned anything about it, but apparently they come up with this crazy idea to not only go on a murder spree, but we're going to take out Billy Loomis's daughter. We're going to become and do it for the fans. Remember, that's what he's supposed to do it for the fans. Prior, what's her name? Jill wanted to do it to become famous and have fans. These ones do it for the fans.
Yeah.
So I was just like, that's kind of like my only thing about it. I was like, okay, I guess, we haven't done that angle yet. Maybe they literally are those people that have seen way too many horror films and they officially broke.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then we also get Sydney and Gail coming back again to kind of help save the day for the Carpenter sisters. They are named Carpenter, which you pointed out was interesting.
Oh yeah. For John Carpenter, I assume.
Mm-hmm. Yep, your buddy. But yeah, so we get a major showdown between the two killers. The co-final girls, all four are there at that point. Because I believe Mindy and Luke are taken out. They're nowhere to be found because we're assumed dead. And you get Richie and Sidney squaring off, and he's like elated to go after the famous Sidney Prescott or Evans at this point, one of the two. And he's basically, this would be a great notch to the belt and everything, and I admire you and all this stuff. It's just really quirky and weird, which is great for Jack Quaid. And then I think Gail is the one who's dealing with Amber in the kitchen. That kill with Amber was pretty rough. She gets burned alive.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. I figured, they're going to shoot her and stab her, whatever. But they kept true to fashion in the Mocker house. One person gets shot and stabbed. Another person meets a very odd death. Stu gets the TV on the face electrocuted. Amber gets literally fried.
But even after that, didn't she do
she comes back.
the fake out where she popped up and
the shooter. Yeah, they did.
So that was the end of
That was the end of Scream 5.
So now going into 6.
Scream 6.
Which is a continuation of 5, kind of.
Yeah, I think it takes place, what is it, like a year later?
Exactly 1 year later, but they left Woodsboro.
To New York.
They're living in New York. Tara is going to college there.
Yep.
Samantha is basically her full-time babysitter, I think.
Full-time babysitter. I think she had a job, but they didn't really cover it very well.
Into it. They just made it she's there just to watch her. And Tara at this point is now getting annoyed because she went from never having her sister in her life.
Now her sister's up her ass, literally.
Always there. Always wanting to know what she does.
She's
she
basically
goes to a
mom.
party. She lectures her. It's like a whole thing. She's like, I just want to have a normal college life. I don't want to live in the past. And she's like, we always have to be careful.
Yeah, we never know. We're co-final girls. She never says that, but that's the assumption. But one thing before we get into the Carpenter sisters and all the mayhem from Scream 6, one thing I do love about this movie may have my favorite opening kill of all time. And there's some specifics to it. So first and foremost, it features Samara Weaving. So those of you who watched Ready or Not, or Ready or Not 2, you'll be delighted. She's the major kill, the celebrity kill in the beginning. Yeah. And she uses her Aussie accent and everything. She's on a date. And her date is late. Shocker, New York. Everybody runs late and it's cool, right? And apparently he's lost. He's in a dark alley. All this other stuff is going on. And he's trying to say, I think I see you. No, I don't see you. I see some random person. He's running at me. Come save me. I'm in the dark alley. Hello. That should have been your first red flag. And the boot that made me laugh about this, she teaches about the Stab movies. She does film teaching school stuff. So it's like she basically falls for what they tell you not to fall for in those movies. Don't call out, don't go in a dark alley by yourself, all that stuff. And what happens? Big surprise. She gets murdered pretty badly. And even Ghostface at this point even tells her, you broke one of the cardinal rules on your own. You don't go into a dark alley and all this stuff like that. And gone, simply. But the kicker to this is the best part that I love about it. Ghostface is immediately revealed right after that. Takes off the mask, and this is never happened. I was shocked. I'm like, wait, are we literally going to follow who is the Ghostface the entire movie? I was shocked. I was like, this is an interesting move, and I don't know how it's going to play out, but I'm excited. It doesn't work out that way, obviously. So he, the guy that did it, he goes to school with Tara, and there was another roommate involved. I don't remember the name. It doesn't matter. But he gets home, washes up like nothing happened. Another day at the office, murder someone, and just go back to my apartment and chill. Whatever. Watch some scary movies afterwards. And he gets a call. And who's on the phone? Ghostface. Yeah. And all the semantics ensue right after that. And he thinks it's his roommate. It's not his roommate. He kind of figures out it's somebody else that he also knows. Yeah. Which I think is interesting. I've always tried to figure out who it was that he also knows that was in on all of this. My guess, and we'll reveal the killers a little bit here, my guess is Quinn.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Quinn or the brother.
She's also the roommate.
Yeah. Yeah, she's the roommate of Tara and Samantha at this point, too. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he dies instantly within the first opening credits.
First time he had a Ghostface kill a Ghostface.
Yeah. Well, it's happened before, but not like that.
No, I mean stalking and killing one.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, it was a great opening scene. I think it set the tone for the rest of the movie. Mm-hmm. And it made it kind of go, this is going to be a wild ride. And for those of you who've watched horror relentlessly, anytime you take a small town killer and bring them to New York. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, Crystal Lake. Jason doesn't turn out very well for the movie. It gets kind of campy and weird and stupid. You know, Jason on the subway. Ooh, he's right there. You know, all that stuff.
The crack don't get you, then the hookers will.
No, this actually delivered, I'd say. I like Scream 6. It's probably in my top 3 right now, for sure. It has lots of wild kills in it. Great story, despite they had to change the setting to New York.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'll let you share. Like, what did you like about it?
I liked the reveal, actually.
Did you?
Yeah, I liked that whole ending. I liked the whole ending. I liked where it was at with all the Ghostface.
The trio.
Memorabilia. No, the memorabilia.
Oh, the end. And yeah. We'll get to that for sure. Yeah, that was really cool.
They had
like a shrine.
They had like a museum of Ghostface basically, and the kills, and it had
all their knives.
I think it had the TV or the phone, something.
It had the TV. It had the phone.
It had all the different masks and the different killers wore.
The mask is interesting because they leave a mask from each killer at every kill. That was kind of an interesting move that they did. It was like, oh, this mask was used in the 2011 killings by Jill, or and
it
Charlie.
turns out it was from this place that just had Ghostface memorabilia, and
it wasn't memorabilia. It was what Richie set up. It was Richie's shrine. He was collecting all this stuff, and the big thing about it is the people who are doing it is the father and the brother and sister. They are family of Richie, who was slain in the previous movie. So they decided to take it upon themselves to quote unquote finish Richie's movie.
That was the whole reasoning. This is the first time I think we had 3 killers.
Yeah, definitely 3 at this point.
Yeah,
it was that was interesting. I didn't suspect 3 killers, 1 or 2 for sure, not 3. And definitely not all 3 of these people. There was a couple where I had my eye on, which was the brother. I forget his name off the top of my head. Quinn's brother.
Well, and he was one.
Yeah, he was one. He was a little weird, and I know they were trying to red herring him throughout the movie, but he definitely was someone I was like, I don't know. He's definitely odd.
I thought it was the neighbor, the hot guy,
the boyfriend
that lived across the street that was flirting with Sam.
Yeah, I mean, if he would have been
across the street, but across the alleyway.
Yeah, across the neighboring building, whatever. That was an interesting part to that whole part too. But we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, we before we jump too far ahead, we take Scream 6 to New York, and we get some very, very interesting things going on here. One, now we're in Gail's home territory.
Right.
Sydney does not appear in Scream 6.
No.
For the obvious reason. She asked for a lot of money to come back for this. They did not give it to her, so they kind of wrote her out and gave a weird excuse. I'd love to be there, but my family takes precedent. We're just going to go in hiding. Okay, fine, whatever. Yeah. Good, whatever. She's done. She's not coming. Mm-hmm. So, long story short, we have the Carpenter sisters back. They are rooming with Quinn. They are rooming with, I believe Mindy and Luke live there, right? Or are they neighbors?
No, they just live like.
They're all going to the same school. They all moved and all went to the same school, and I think they're all going to NYU. Doesn't matter. Semantics. Yeah. They're in New York City, going to school, whatever, college, and they are now what they kind of call themselves the new Core 4. Yeah. And they kind of are. So that one kind of starts off with Tara being ridden on by Samantha, and I think one of my favorite parts of the movie is where she tasers the dude's balls at the party.
Yeah.
Had me laughing for a minute.
Yeah, they are badass.
But the premise on this one is the aftermath of Scream 5. It paints that Samantha was potentially the killer and slain Richie and Amber.
Right. So they online, people are reading that she was the real killer, and there's all these rumors and conspiracy theories that Richie and Amber did not do it. It was really Samantha, and they
got away with it.
They hid it, and blah blah blah. And people are believing this.
Yeah.
We find out that it's actually the father that planted all these false stories, and
online.
He is a cop, a New York City detective, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he has like the means and stuff to really get something like this going.
Yeah, he really does. And he definitely was methodical and planned a lot of this out.
And he acts like he's sympathetic to them and like he's going to help them find Ghostface and don't be scared. I mean, it's really hard to get help when your help is the killer.
Yeah, and you never really assume the cop. You know, you never really do. This was actually technically the first time in the Scream series where the cop was the killer or one of the killers.
They might have seemed suspicious, but
Dewey was always suspicious, especially in the first movie.
So was
the third movie too, a little bit.
Yeah,
Hicks at one point was, but not for very long to me. I don't know what other cops did we have that we were like, I don't know about that one.
I think
that's really it. Like Dewey and Hicks were kind of like the two mainstays. You know, at least they carried on through a couple of movies. We do get a return character from a previous Scream movie in 6 that I love that they brought her back for. It was Hayden Panettiere as Kirby. And she's an FBI agent. Not only is she a cop.
Oh, I did suspect her for a minute.
Yeah, we thought she broke.
I thought that she had an emotional breakdown, and I think they were painting that picture.
They did, yeah, and they bring that to a head at the end.
Yeah, that she came to really finish business and used her FBI
credentials
to get into this. So, it turns out she really was there to help solve the case.
Yeah, she was there to solve it. She likes specializing in Ghostface because they make a point that I guess she had like a mental breakdown at work.
Yeah.
I don't know if they ever cleared that up or if that was just because remember the one that came up with that was the cop
painting the picture.
Yeah,
was like, oh man.
Yeah, they were painting the picture for us, but the person that gave the information was the head detective, Richie's dad. I can't remember his name, doesn't matter. But yeah, he basically tries to make them not trust Kirby, which is classic Ghostface, you know, misdirection stuff.
Once you find out who the killer is, you're like, oh, that's why.
That's why, yeah, of course.
He was trying to make her the guilty one.
Of course, yeah, it's easier to
and
do
I think even at the very end, their whole plan was to pin it on Kirby, and they get away.
Yep.
And paint it and that's why he kept mentioning, oh, she had the mental breakdown, so other people would have already heard that.
Yep.
So.
The other thing that was very interesting with this is one of the, well, not opening kills, but one of the earlier kills, Quinn. Quinn gets killed off, and we immediately write her off. Like, she is definitely not a suspect because she's dead. This is actually, I think, the first time we actually get a murder in the very early part of the movie. That person we think is long gone, long dead.
Her father's a detective.
Yeah, he could easily plant all this stuff.
And you think he wants to find his daughter's murder just as bad as they want to find Ghostface. So
yeah. And she just reappears at the end of the movie like nothing happened.
Faked her death.
They faked her death, and of course, if you're a New York City cop, you have connections. You have a means of sweeping up the evidence. Of course, no one ever really checked in on any of this stuff because you know. Never see Quinn in a body bag. No. And her whole murder scene looked, she had like 5 pints of blood all over the room.
I mean, they could have snuck fake blood in there.
They probably did, or she did. You know, they had it all planned out. It was done very elaborately. But that whole scene of when she gets murdered is very interesting because he obviously gets in the building. The boyfriend across. He notices all of this stuff kind of going on.
Trying to warn them. They're in like the kitchen, around the kitchen table, talking, and he's trying to get their attention.
No one's listening.
No.
That would be me in a horror movie. Right there. Everybody's getting going. Well, I tried.
We hear you. You're very loud.
He's loud too.
It would be like me in a horror movie because nobody ever hears me.
Have you? Well, I know you live in New Jersey and New York. Those windows are very good with sound. He's loud too, that guy. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, that's true.
I think no matter what he did, he's further away than you think. It's just the camera angle makes him look closer. And 2, you have the noise outside. You have the double pane glass probably, and you're trying to shout over all of that to them and make motions. No one's paying attention. It's He would have been better off running outside and up to go deal with it instead of all of that. Yeah. But I get it. It's you're emotional. You're trying to get your girlfriend's attention and all that stuff. And that was the funny part too, how she tried to hide that the relationship with the guy across the way.
She acted like she barely knew him, but they had been like, it wasn't really her boyfriend. They were just hooked up
seeing each other.
While,
yeah. It made me laugh because I think even all of the kids were like, finally.
Because they knew they were.
It was too obvious. It was too obvious. So but we get that rough kill. Well, not kill, quote unquote kill for Quinn, and I forget. Mindy has a girlfriend in this movie. I don't remember her name.
Yeah, and she ends up.
It's so
not
bad.
making it.
Yeah.
Anna, give me your hand! No! I got you!
Oof, God, that's horrible to watch. But yeah, she's gone. The Carpenter sisters, the Mindy and Luke, they get away with the boyfriend.
Girlfriends and boyfriends of the twins don't seem to make it very long.
They really don't. No, I don't think Luke had a
No.
girlfriend in this one.
Because it was his
He was
girlfriend.
interested in Tara. That's why him and Tara kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But
they-
his girlfriend in 5 dies, and then
yeah.
she gets a girlfriend, and then her girlfriend dies.
Yeah, but yeah, so that all happens. They then reconvene somewhere, I think it's outside, and they start trying to really figure out suspects. I do remember all of this. And then they're trying to figure out who's doing what and who's potentially suspect. Mindy goes over the rules again. So Mindy says...
Yeah, so 6 is the franchise.
Right. 6 was the franchise. Okay, that's fair. But yeah, I mean... At this point, we're in a franchise, so, you know, like all bets are off and all that stuff.
Right.
So, what ends up happening here at this point is another interesting scene right after all this. And I think this is just after Mindy paints the brother, the other roommate of Luke, as you're so creepy, you probably are the killer. And they're trying to figure out, like, you know, how long people have been in the friend group and all that stuff. And it just paints everyone in a weird light. It really does. Like, anyone could have been Ghostface at this point.
Right.
So they all end up kind of figuring out they need to, well, first and foremost, back up a little bit. They end up through Kirby and Gail finding this shrine. But they basically hatch a plan with the detective. Of course, he's the one who comes up with it. Shocker, right? On getting what was called like the kill box, basically. So the plan is to basically trap Ghostface inside of this warehouse that they have all this stuff in and capture him or kill them, whatever. Of course, yes, movies go. It doesn't work out quite like that. So obviously Kirby's the one who has all of the keys and access into it and out of it. They all get there, start kind of rummaging around, whatever. Kirby's like the first person to go missing, of course.
Yeah.
And we kind of figure out it's because the detective's the one that takes her out. I think he hits her, stabs her, something. Comes back way later. I know that.
It was because they were going to set her up.
Right.
They're
going to set her up as the killer. And I think it was going to be her and Samantha. Basically, they were going to set up as the killers.
Right, because she was the one who
Richie
is still having delusions about her father and the apple doesn't fall far from the tree type of thing.
Yeah.
So she's one of the killers because she's taking over for her father.
Yeah.
They even try to have her wear his mask, right? Or his whole ghost face.
Yeah, they throw it at her and she just like laughs at them like, I ain't putting that on or whatever.
No, she does end up putting it on at the end to go after them, which was interesting. She wore her father's Ghostface costume.
A very interesting thing they could have done with this, but they didn't. But before we get to that, obviously they're all trying to meet here. One person doesn't make it there. That's Mindy. So they all get on the subway. It's like Halloween, I think is what it is.
It is Halloween because everyone's wearing costumes. You have a Megan in there. You have, I think there's even Jason,
Freddie.
And then you have a bunch of Ghostface.
Yeah, a lot of people wearing Ghostface costumes. Shock, right? Or stab, whatever. So they're on the subway. They all get separated. It's a huge crowd. So I believe Mindy gets left behind with the other roommate who ends up being, Richie's brother.
And the thing is, you can't tell which one's the actual Ghostface because of all the Ghostface costumes.
Correct. So it's a crazy scene. I think they used it in the trailer.
Guys?
To promote it, I was like, I'm sold. I want to watch it. And more or less, if you've ever been on a New York City subway, it goes through tunnels and you lose light for a fraction of a second, sometimes longer, depending on the where on what train. But as that's going on, it kind of paints the tensions there. Mindy's there and she knows something is off about this train ride. It's her and the weirdo that she doesn't trust, which she was right. And more or less, she ends up being right. Gets stabbed in the stomach again. She's got a lot of those scars over there at this point. And weirdly enough, and I don't know why, this is the one part where I was like, it's a weird hole. The third killer, the brother, he helps her out of the subway. Yeah. Which you would think if he was Ghostface, he'd have some weird thing like, oh, I got lost in the crowd. I didn't even know she was there. Whatever. And he helps her out of there. He actually kind of helps her survive. It's kind of weird. And it's kind of made me have a weird taste in my mouth. Like, why would he do that other than kill her later, I guess?
Definitely made me not think he was
Ghostface. No, yeah. It took me out like, yeah, maybe he's definitely not it. Her. Maybe. I don't know. They never, but yeah. But yeah, that happens and she doesn't make it. They end up in the kill box zone, all this stuff. Kirby goes missing.
She makes it.
No. Kirby, I wasn't getting to that part yet.
No, Mindy.
Yeah, Mindy makes it. I didn't say she didn't.
You just said she doesn't.
She doesn't make it to the kill box, the final scene. Sorry.
Okay. I'm like, no, she survives.
No, your memory's not that bad. Trust me.
No, but I definitely remember her surviving.
But
she didn't make it to the kill box.
Yeah, no, she didn't make it to the final scene. And long story short, there's a showdown again, of course, and we have Richie's father, brother, and Quinn is revealed also as the sister. So you have a threesome against Gail. No, Gail did not make it to this.
No, because Gail got attacked.
Gail gets attacked in her apartment.
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing we forgot to go over. Yeah. So their Ghostface goes to Gail's Weathers' beautiful penthouse that she has in New York City, overlooking Central Park. And aren't they in Central Park? And they're
at Central Park West.
And then when they get like some kind of a GPS something, some kind of alert, I forgot what it was, that alerts them that Ghostface is going to Gail. Yeah. So they race to go try to get there before.
They steal the detective's car. I remember that. Yes, yeah, the Carpenter sisters steal the police car. It's amazing. I love it. Yeah.
And they go
never do
over
this.
There, but they don't get there before Ghostface, and Ghostface actually attacks Gail.
Yeah, nearly kills her.
Yeah, nearly kills her. She gets hurt really badly.
Yeah.
So she's in the hospital. So yeah, she's not in the final scene because she's in the hospital.
Yeah. So yeah, she's been taken out at this point. So basically all that's left when you get to the kill box, it's the Carpenter sisters who basically are the main people in this one, taking on 3 different Ghostfaces. Kirby is now injured and taken out of commission. She's not dead, but definitely injured. And then we had Luke, who I think also got taken out. Yeah. And then Samantha tells the boyfriend to not join them because they don't trust him because he's not part of the original core 4. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't make it. And this obviously adds to the suspicion of it has to be him, or at least he's one of them. He's involved. Yeah. And watch him get in there somehow other way or whatever, some weird reveal. But no, he's squeaky clean. He had nothing to do with any of it. And we get this interesting monologuing from the 3 killers on they're going to finish Richie's film and his legacy and all of that stuff. And it's a little dramatic, but I get it. It was pretty good. Showdown. I know there's like this big thing with what's her name? Tara. Tara's like about to fall and she tells her to let her go. That was pretty cool, that whole scene where they're trying to get away from all 3 of them. It ends up Tara falls off this like railing. Sam catches her. It was kind of cool because, it's this like roundabout moment where Sam is clearly overprotective of Tara for lots of good reasons. Like, you get it. And basically she has to make a decision, either let Tara go and deal with the problem down there, which I believe was it Quinn or the brother? One of them was down there. Yeah. One of the younger ones. And then you had the detective up there who was about to come and finish them up, Samantha on the top. Yeah. So she ends up letting her go. Tara kicks some serious butt and takes out one of them. I know that. And then we have a showdown with Samantha and the dad, the detective. Yeah. And I'll let you comment. You like this whole part where she puts on the mask and everything.
Yeah, so she puts on the costume and she goes after them and really kicks some ass there. And, yeah. But then when she takes off the mask, she kind of has this little monologue, I would say, where she says that she's not like her father.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
She was like, Just because she was wearing the costume doesn't make her father.
Yeah, exactly.
And, yeah. So she even comes, I think, to realize that just because she's related to someone who's done something like that doesn't mean that she has to follow in the same path.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a good coming of her own moment and kind of understanding she's better than this. I mean, her mental health is in the toilet, even worse than 5 in this one. Like,
Yeah.
I believe she's seeing Billy like almost every other scene at this point.
Yeah.
She's like struggling with it, and it's bad. I mean, I know she sees him when she's in the Ghostface shrine, and she sees like his actual costume and his knife and everything else, and she sees him like on the glass, and he goes, "Oh yeah, take it, see how it fits," like that kind of thing, and she basically like ignores it. But yeah, you could tell she was struggling, and this took almost a turn for worse. We almost get this idea that, man, there's a good possibility by the end of this she is Ghostface or becomes Ghostface, because at this point, if everyone just believes she's Ghostface, why not?
Right.
It's like, if everyone says I am, it might as well be. It's kind of like the
Right.
mantra, right?
She can go that way, but she decided she's not going to
be
go
better
that
than
way.
that.
She's gonna rise above it.
Yeah.
She's gonna take care of her sister, and they're gonna get over all this Ghostface stuff.
And as I like to say in horror movies, they will be somewhat happily ever after, because things never stay buried for long, right?
Yeah.
But
well, so far they're happily ever after because they are 9 and 7, so we don't know what happens to them. But it seems like, I think there was a little mention of them that they're just healing and they're they are trying to live their happily ever after.
Yeah, if you follow the Scream lore like we do, both Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera dropped out of 7 for different reasons, and we won't get into. It was sad that they didn't make it into the movie. I think the movie could have benefited from them being in it, because it would have been nice to finish their own trilogy. But they took a different turn with 7. But more or less, I could get into my hot take, because now we're not really going to cover 7. So spoiler alert, if you were waiting to this point to hear what we thought about 7, not quite there yet. So my hot take, I teased it last episode, or part 1 of last episode. Gail Weathers is the true villain of the franchise.
Oh, yeah.
She's the true villain, and here's why. A lot of people are going to disagree with me. Bring on the hate, it's fine. If everybody remembers, it kind of probably have died with Stu and Billy very easily. But Gail decided to write how many books? I think we lost count. I don't know how many she wrote. I mean, I know she has writer's block in Scream 4.
We know she only has 2 Woodsboro books. Her original book.
Yeah.
And then she writes another one after 4.
Yeah.
When she said she wasn't going to write another one.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the 2. That's why also I think Dewey was mad at her.
Yeah, Dewey's very mad at her. And I don't blame him. And there's even times where Sydney's annoyed with her too over it, because
No, it was after 5. Because she went at the very end. She said she told the Carpenter sister she would not write a book because she doesn't want to give notoriety to these killers, because what happened with Stewie and Bill made this whole thing happen.
Yeah, explode.
It exploded. And then what did she do? She couldn't help herself. She wrote a book.
She's addicted to writing books about serial killers. This is pretty evident. And at some point, you almost have to recognize it is a disease with her. She can't get out of her own way. Yeah. And to be fair, if this could be like one of those multiverse things. If Gail Weathers did not write that first book that inspired all the Stab movies, could we logically argue maybe we don't get all the rest of the killers?
No, there wouldn't have been, because the book is what inspired Stab.
Yeah.
Stab is what made everybody know about Ghostface. If there
not everybody. There were people who had things in play. I mean, we could talk about Roman till the end of time. He probably still would have done what he would have done. I think maybe
there wouldn't have been such an
uproar.
It wouldn't. Not so many people would have known who Ghostface was.
Right.
They might have heard about these serial killers from the late 90s that killed their friends at a high school party, and that's probably all it would have been. It wouldn't have been this whole...
Who were we referring to here would have heard this? Like people like Richie and Amber and all of them?
No, I'm talking about Scream 1.
I know, but I'm just saying, it's kind of like a counter argument to my own argument. If she doesn't write the book, like this is what you're saying, right? She doesn't write the book, and that never happens. I still think we get a couple of killers, not as many as we got all the way down to 7 movies, but I think we get at least Billy's mom revenge.
But there wouldn't have been a 3 because there would never have been a Stab 3 for them to be going to Hollywood.
You don't think it would have morphed into somewhere else?
He needed to get Sidney to Hollywood, and without producing Stab 3, how do you think he would have done that?
Some other way. Or he would have came to Woodsboro.
Maybe, but it wouldn't have been this big, huge thing that it was.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
The fact that everybody knew about... Stab took on its own life.
It did.
So, without the
books.
first killings and the books, and then all these movies that happened, before people even think about the real life murders that happened in Scream 1, when you put Ghostface on, they probably think of the horror movies. Most of America.
Yeah, of course.
Because they're like, that's from Stab. They don't think that's from Billy Loomis and Stu Walker.
No. I get you. No, the whole point of this was to kind of point out that Gail, writing the books that she did, in her own defense, this is the main defense that she had. If she didn't do it, somebody else would. But my counter argument to Gail's story is she was very close to the first killing. She was right there on the killing room floor. So no one, I think, would have been able to get the details out better than either her or Sidney. That's about it. And Sidney was not going to write the book. We already knew that. I think she would have avoided giving Gail interviews.
That's why she was so mad at her in
2.
Because it followed her all the way to college because of the Stab movie.
And it continued to follow and permeate all throughout the franchise. So that's my thing. That's my only other counter argument is I still think you get Roman is going to do some killings.
He would have had to come to Woodsboro.
He would have had to come to Woodsboro, and I think he still would have done it. It wouldn't have been as elaborate, like you're saying. Yeah. Maybe it wouldn't have been as good or whatever. Or he probably would have screwed up and gotten himself caught.
He would
Who
have had to
knows?
become the manager of the video store.
Yeah, he'd become Randy Part 2.
I think there were still video stores.
There were.
When Scream 3 was.
Yeah. Probably around 4 and 5 is when it was over.
A big movie, he would have been the manager of the video store.
Yeah, and I still think Billy's mom would have tried to do something. She had snapped enough where I don't think those movies had anything to do with what she planned.
And she might still try to do it in the college, but now getting Mickey involved. He did it because he wanted the fame and the filmmaker part of it, which has to do with the movies being.
Yeah, he wanted the notoriety. Yeah. So I don't think you get Richie. I don't think you get Amber.
Maybe the mom would have hooked up with the brother.
Maybe
you would have got that.
Stop! No,
I don't mean hook up that way. I meant they would have
got her.
They would have found each other. Yeah. Billy Loomis's mom, Cindy's long lost brother.
What do you mean by found each other?
And they would have killed together, not anything else.
No, I get you. Hey, different strokes for different folks, right? You never know what Roman might be up to. But the premise I'm going to go in with here is the later films, the ones that kind of started this whole franchise thing. I think even starting with 4, you don't get Charlie. Maybe Jill, but I don't think so.
You wouldn't get Jill because she wouldn't be so jealous of Sydney's fame.
You maybe don't have what happened.
Wouldn't have been that famous.
There's a huge butterfly effect here is what I'm getting at, folks, is if Gail does not write these books from the start of the second movie and forward, I think you don't have the franchise that we have. So in a lot of ways, Ghostface, yes, of course, there's multiple killers and it's culpable and all that stuff. But you don't get all this stuff without Gail doing what she did.
Yeah.
And that's why I kind of say there's times where I kind of go, I don't know about calling her a final girl. I think Gail can't help herself. She's profiting off of it. I mean, we saw in 4.
But she's always almost getting her own self killed with her own book. So she's almost her own worst enemy in a way.
She is. And that's why I think it's more of like a disease in a way. And unfortunately, serial killers too, they are very diseased individuals. They take things to an extreme. So it's a hard one to swallow, but I think one of the true villains of the franchise is Gail Weathers. Whether you like it or not, you love Courtney Cox, whatever, friends, she's great, it's Monica. But unfortunately, if you really follow the films and things that inspired the killer, especially the last couple of films, those books had a lot of weight on future ghost faces. And the person behind all that is
probably still for years to come because even the Stab movies are going and going. Although, they're not really following the original murders anymore. They're like in space and stuff at some point.
But she inspired all of that. So even if at some point not going to give spoilers for 7. At this point, Gail is alive. That's all y'all going to know.
Cindy comes back.
Cindy comes back.
We're actually in her new town. I guess the one she was hiding out in.
Yeah, we're not in Woodsboro anymore.
She has her husband and her daughter.
Are we spoiling?
No, I'm giving a little background.
This is the trailer. Well, you'll find all the stuff even in the trailer.
The daughter is in the trailer.
I know, I'm just saying, how far do you want to go? We made a rule here. We're breaking our own rules.
I'm not spoiling anything. It's not a spoiler that she had a daughter.
I know she did. I'm just messing with
you. Even the daughter's named Tatum.
Yes.
Named after
her
best friend in Scream 1.
Yeah.
Basically, let's just say Ghostface finds her in her new town where she was hiding out.
Yep.
I'm just going to say my
take.
It's not my take on it. More if I liked it or not. Like my thoughts on it. I will say I really liked the movie up until the reveal.
Yeah.
The beginning was insane.
They burn a house down. That's all we're gonna say.
Away from the fire at Stu Macher's house. That's the beginning.
Yep.
It's one of the most brutal, I think, opening scenes.
Yes, absolutely.
It was insane. And then the rest of the movie has a lot of great kills, a lot of great scenes.
Lots of drama.
It draws you in, and you're very entertained.
There's a great scene. Well, I'll say this much: there's a great scene with Cindy and Gail. I won't go any further than that. Yes. When you watch it, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's a very heartfelt scene.
And it's kind of like a full circle moment.
It's a very full circle moment between the two of them.
It's very sweet.
I will challenge you guys also when you watch the movie. Count how many times Gail curses in the movie. I want to see what y'all come up with. I got to 10. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, I would have gave the movie 10 out of 10 if the reveal had been different. If the reveal had gone more the way I was thinking in my head would go. Which I can't tell you because it would spoil you.
Yep.
But I think I'm going to give it probably a 6.5 out of 10 because of the reveal.
That's fair. That is fair. That's close to kind of where I land with it. The reveal also disappointed me as well. I won't get into the details of it. The movie was very well written. It had a lot of great foreshadowing in it. It had a lot of great tender moments. Had a lot of great writing. But the finish is where it left me kind of going. We had something and we lost it. Yeah, it's still a really good movie up until you get to there. That's about it.
If you've seen it and you'd like to comment what your rating would be, let us know. Please don't spoil though. We don't want to spoil it for everyone, or try to put a spoiler tag on it. Which I hope if you can do that.
I can. Technology.
So, just we don't want to ruin it for people who haven't seen it. We would like to at least let a movie be out for a year before we do anything with spoilers.
That is one of our rules at this point. So we will cover it probably next year around this time. At this point, it would be very well circulated.
And you can just let us know if you liked the reveal or hated the reveal without
saying anything else. That's fine. At this point, this is where we connect the dots. This is where our true crime friends really get to shine and love what we talk about. We get into Reality Bites.
Sink your teeth in as we reveal the real events and unsettling truths that inspired tonight's tale. Because in the end, reality bites harder.
So, for those of you who've watched Scream as long as I have, it's basically copycat after copycat after copycat after copycat, and it's, it is what it is. Ghostface continues to live on. People always wear the mask and the robe and go on a kill spree. Where the Scream murders is just horrible and horrific is, I think at this point, Scream 3 would have probably been out. This happened in the early 2000s. And it happened in a small town in Iowa. And you basically have high school kids, and they are doing, what high school kids do. And I think at this point, you didn't really have social media as it is today. These kids were kind of filming their high school experience, which is cool. I admire it. It's kind of cool to have that kind of memory. I thought it was kind of cool and innocent. It's a group of friends where I think it's like 3 guys, couple of girls. I think it's like 3 guys, 3 girls, if I remember correctly. You know, you have the boyfriend, the girlfriend, the 2 guys who are constantly with each other, and then the girlfriends who sort of, you know, intermingle or whatever. All same high school, small town. Probably all grew up with each other very easily. Where things take a interesting turn is one of the girls is brutally murdered. Dog sitting for her.
No, she was house sitting.
House sitting. Sorry, no.
So that's why, because she was staying at her aunt's house all alone, the house sit, and
but there were dogs involved.
Well, the thing with the dog was she had her boyfriend come stay with her while she was house sitting, and they started getting like threatening calls, like scream style.
Yep.
And she got scared and wanted her boyfriend to stay, but he said he had to go home. But why doesn't she come to his house and she could come back in the morning?
And these will be spoilers, by the way. If you haven't watched it, stop now. So go ahead.
And so he said, you can come to my house and stay with us, so you know, and come back in the morning to check on the house. And she said, I can't because I have the dog and I have to watch the dog, so I can't leave the house.
Yeah.
So my thing was like, if that was happening to me,
there's one other caveat to this that you missed. The power was cut.
Yeah, and the power was cut. Like it was really creepy and scary. Yep. My thing is, if that was happening to me, I would have asked, can I bring the dog with me? Or I would have just left enough water and
food
for the dog for
overnight
and be back first thing in the morning.
Yep.
But I would not have stayed there alone.
No, it puts you in a very precarious situation.
Call my mom, because I would have been like, Mom, I'm at Aunt so and so's house, and all this stuff is happening. Yeah. Can I bring the dog and come home with the dog, and then I'll come back here in the morning?
Right.
Something. I would never have stayed in the house.
Yeah, it seemed innocent at first, but it was a monumental mistake for this girl.
And the thing is, you start thinking it's the boyfriend that did it, and he set this all up. And
it usually is the boyfriend.
Yeah, like I'm like, oh my God, it really is like a Billy Loomis thing. He's going after his girlfriend. But it turns out the boyfriend was
innocent. Yeah.
It was 2 people in the friend group. We have our he was kind of like a hybrid of Stu and Randy. He was a film nerd.
Like, film nerd.
Movies, knew all of them.
From an early age.
But where Randy just had his knowledge, but was a lovable, goofy friend, he had the Stu Macher evilness in him.
Yeah.
And he befriended this other guy, like, where they
Skater type.
Mm-hmm. And the film guy, like Randy, was awkward, a little shy. Mm-hmm. Well, not that Randy was shy, but, you know, a little introverted.
They're both introverted. We'll just go with that.
Yeah, and they formed this friendship, and because of this,
on the bond of horror movies,
and then because of the popularity of the Scream movies, they were like, well, what if we do something like this and we can become famous? And that was their whole thing, was getting fame. And they said they didn't even have anything against the girl. They liked the girl. They said she was a nice girl.
They were friends with her. They filmed her. They were always, she was like, oh, she's always nice to us and all this stuff. And
it ends up coming out, the only reason she was targeted was because they knew she was going to be alone at her aunt's house that night.
Yep.
It had nothing to do, like, she was mean to them, bullied them, whatever, nothing.
No.
It was just because she was alone.
Wrong place, wrong time. That's not it.
This whole documentary, you see, like, the cop footage, the interrogations. I don't know how much you want to go into that, but...
Oh, I had a lot that I wanted to cover on it, but yeah, feel free. You have the reel.
Well, you can go into all that stuff. That's basically, I just gave this short... Like,
Nick is very passionate about this whole thing. It's very sad. It's an extremely sad story. So if you do watch it, it does not have a happy end. This is real life at this point. So someone lost their life. These guys were very extremely emotionally immature, to a point of where they couldn't even see reality anymore. You know, when you're thinking, I'm going to get famous by murdering somebody or murdering multiple people, they had a list.
Well, what was interesting was after she was killed and after they confessed and they were getting in trouble and it hit the one guy, the film guy.
Yeah.
He was like, oh my God, she's actually dead. She's really dead.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he couldn't believe that she was dead when he was the one who did it. Like, that's how out of reality they were.
That was the skater guy that had that reality.
Oh, was it him? Okay.
The film guy was the more cerebral, the quiet one. director more
Yeah.
so. The other guy, the taller one, skater
it's been
kid.
a couple months since I watched.
I know it's fine. I got you. It still kind of haunts me, but he was the one who recalls, and I remember they have the film where they videoed all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And they even have the video like just after they leave her house and did it. And the taller kid, the more open one, he's just like in shock. Like, I can't believe I did it. Like the knife went through her and all this stuff. Like reality kind of set in there for like a couple of minutes, and it was kind of interesting. And the other one, the director, the film type, as you keep calling him, still told him, shut up. Like, hey, be quiet, whatever. And they go and bury all of the stuff. They wore masks. They wore like not actual Ghostface masks, but something they made.
Yeah.
Blacks, all black. They had knives, multiple knives, and they buried it in some hill out in the middle of nowhere. The ironic part about it, and this is where things get really interesting, and I love the cops and their ability to interrogate. This is where you get to see not the Woodsboro Police Department, a real police department do what they do best, and that is catch the bad guys. So in this situation, they're at this point, they're interviewing all the friends, anyone that could have been involved. Obviously, the boyfriend's always the number one suspect. So I know if you meet your untimely demise, I'm going to be sitting in a police station somewhere. Thanks. They interview him first. He goes through like everything that happened that night, and mentions these two boys were there. They were there. They were all hanging out, goofing around or whatever.
Yeah.
And they left to go watch a movie. This is where things get really stupid and dumb criminals. So, of course, because this boyfriend brought up that these two other individuals were there at one point and then left, of course, they're going to get interviewed and interrogated because they were there. They were one of the last people to see her alive.
Yeah.
So they bring them both in. Their stories nearly match, too, which is interesting. Apart from one key detail that I love from the detectives. They ask, oh, what movie did you see? Innocent question. They mentioned the movie Pulse. And these guys are horror buffs. They love horror, right? So if you went to go see a movie about what you love, you would remember key details in it, right?
Yeah.
So they asked, oh, what was it about? Simple questions. They could not remember.
He even asked, what was any of the... Name an actor that was in the movie.
Yeah.
He couldn't remember one actor in the movie.
Yep, not one thing, not one key detail. So obviously, your detective mode is going on.
But we have the movie tickets, so that doesn't prove.
That doesn't prove very much of anything.
Buy a movie ticket, but you don't have to see the.
Yeah, we have the movie ticket. Great, cool. What do you remember about the movie? Nothing. Okay. So they basically kind of cornered them both in a lie. And I remember the taller kid, the one that, remember, he goes into the video and explains that he hurts this girl and stabs her and everything.
Yeah.
He basically comes up with this idea that, we were in the parking lot opening cars, trying to see if anything was unlocked. And they asked, why would you do that? Oh, we're just going to get some change, some money, anything we can basically, resell, whatever. Stupid kid stuff that sounds very innocent. They end up catching this in a lie. And because they try to figure out how many cars, where was it? They ask all of the questions.
What was the color of the car?
Right. They don't remember any of the key details. And this is where good cop work becomes great cop work. These kids at this point, they're just probably unraveling at this point. They even do the lie detector. I believe the taller one does not pass it.
The other one does.
The other one does because he sees something wrong with him. He's
so calm throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
The other one was a bundle of nerves, but the other one was, which made me think he was like the true psychopath.
Yeah. And it just basically comes out the truth that they were there, they came back, what they tried to describe was going to be, I guess, a prank on her, turned into a murder, is what ended up happening.
And they might have believed it was the prank gone wrong, except
they filmed it.
The videotape.
Yeah. They filmed what they did, which I think is just...
And this whole video...
I don't even know where to begin with it.
Videotape, before they even get to the part where they kill her, there's days in that videotape where they're planning the murder. They're talking about, they're joking about it.
Premeditated.
They're talking about the people they want to kill.
Yeah.
Other classmates.
Yeah. It's just so far gone.
That proves that it was not a prank that went wrong.
Imagine
they had a kill list.
Yeah, they had a kill list. Imagine the kids from Columbine filming and talking about everything they were going to do the day or days before. This is kind of what this almost was. So thankfully, these cops, they did their job. They uncovered this stuff. The taller one, the one that's more open, the skater kid, he tells them where they buried all the stuff, and this is where they find the videotape. Like and they tried to burn it, I think is what happened, but it didn't burn or something like that because they had, I guess, somebody in the CSI area recreate it, get it fixed and everything, and they were able to watch, I think, almost all of it.
And that is what put them away because it was
they literally sowed their own doom. It was just insane. They show parts of it in the documentary. They show parts of the videotape.
You can go back and watch it.
Yeah.
Like, and then they fast forward to present day.
Yeah.
These two are now obviously in prison.
Yeah, they got convicted. Don't even. Yeah, the before we get to that, the interesting part was they hired separate lawyers. And it's like the lawyers were trying to pin it on the other one. It was so insane. They turned them against each other.
They did. They really did.
Yeah. It was just like that's insane. You both did the same thing. Whether one did it more than the other, it doesn't matter to me.
They both had the same defense of I was only going along with what he wanted.
Yeah, what he did. I'm impressionable. Okay. Well, you're both impressionable. You both got together with each other and came up with this cockamamie psychotic plan to murder somebody and more people. And it's just, and you see the interviews from like the classmates, the girls who were on the kill list. And it's all girls. That's what's more embarrassing about this. Yeah, you're going to kill all women? Good. Gross. Disgusting. Deplorable. Killing anyone in general is terrible. But the fact that they were looking for innocent girls to murder is just disgusting.
It's easier to kill women than go after men.
Right.
Because they can probably put up more than a fight.
Well, shows you where things are at, doesn't it? So you get these interviews from all different classmates, and especially the ones who knew their names are now on this list because of all this stuff, and they feel like their high school life was cheated a little bit.
Such bumbling idiots of killers, they could have been the next.
They could have been next, yeah. And the just some of them even talking about like how. The more methodical one, the one that's quiet. One of the girls, she had dinner with him the next day.
Yeah, they were actual friends. She had dinner at his house with his mother.
Yeah.
And then she found out she was on the list. It was like, so they weren't targeting people that were mean to them or, the usual reasons. They were targeting just girls.
Yeah. I think the whole high school class of girls, basically.
And
it was a long list from what I saw. It was insane. And the good thing is, police work was done. They definitely prevented a lot more because these guys were not going to stop.
Yeah, no, but it was a good thing they weren't like Billy Loomis and Stu Macher.
And actually methodical and not
were able to kill like multiple people.
Yeah.
Because they definitely were not as clever as the killers in the movie.
They were not, and thankfully so, because like I said, this could have been a documentary where we're talking about multiple murders and a killing spree of Gainesville Ripper magnitude or Jeffrey Dahmer magnitude. Yeah. Like it's just sad. And these are high school kids. They should be enjoying the best days of their lives. And the one thing that irked me in the documentary about at least even some of the parents, I get it, it's your kids and you're trying to defend them, and it's not fair that these kids have to spend the rest of they got sent for life, guys. No death penalty. I guess they don't do that up there in Iowa, which okay. But yeah, they're in prison for life. And a lot of the argument in the appeals is, well, because they were 16 going on 17, their brains aren't fully developed, they're immature, all of these things.
By now.
They could have changed. That's fine. But one person who will never get a do-over ever again is that young girl.
Yeah. I would say the one kid's father that was in the interview, he was more heartbroken and blamed himself.
Oh, yeah. He wanted to take his son's place.
You can tell his life had fallen apart after that because, well, him and his wife divorced.
Yep.
It looks like he just let himself go. When you saw him...
He aged like 50 years,
When you saw him in the videos, in the police interrogation, he looked like just a regular dad, in his late 30s. He aged so much. Like, his hair was all straggly. Like, you could tell he just wasn't taking care of himself or just didn't care about life anymore.
Yep.
I think he even lived by the prison where his son was, right?
Yeah, he wasn't that far from it. I remember.
So he moved over there where his son is staying.
Yeah.
But the mom of the other killer, she just kept making excuses. This wasn't my son. He
I don't know
such
this
a
person.
good boy.
This guy.
He wasn't raised this way.
This guy made him that way. The other kid,
so
and I'm like,
the other one that he must have screwed with his mind and made him this. So she was definitely not she was giving all the excuses.
Well, I mean, you and I are both parents. Mine's obviously much more younger than yours. But, you know, if it would have been something like this going on, you have to talk to your kids, you know. It just makes me wonder, like, kind of like what was going on in those households. Like, we'll never really know. And maybe you never really do know, like kids being kids and giving them some sort of leeway. But how much is too much, you know? If your kids are going out super late at night to go watch a movie, why are you not wondering why they're still out at like late at night, early in the morning?
So
and they're 16 years old.
I never really had a curfew in high school, but I did have to tell my mom what I was doing,
right?
So so I would have to be home afterwards. So let's say I wanted to see a late movie at 10:30.
Yeah,
it wouldn't end till after midnight. My mom would be like, "Well, it's ending at midnight, then you're home by 12:30."
Yeah.
There was no, like, me just being out all night.
No, yeah. Even if you're in a small town or whatever. I can even recall as a kid growing up, I did stupid high school things, of course. You know, a lot of us did it. I recall this is in my senior year of high school, going to a party. I was lifeguarding at the time, got a little tipsy at 17, 18. And I had, at this point, cell phones were not great, you know. I had minutes on mine, I'm not gonna lie. And I had a beeper, so there were lots of different ways my mom could have contacted. She had no idea where the hell I was at this party. I just kind of told her I was going to a friend's house and all this other nonsense. And the kicker for mine was she was leaving to, coincidentally, because I was in New York at the time, she was flying down to Florida for vacation. So apparently, as the story goes, she was like frantic, trying to get a hold of me the whole night, trying to knock on doors, call this person, that person out of my friend group, their parents. No one knew anything or whatever. I think she even told me like what she found out where I was, which was like the next morning. Like if I did not show any signs that morning, she was going straight to the police station to find out where the hell I was.
Yeah.
So, like I say, this is where it ties together. Be invested in your kids' lives. You know, make sure you know they're checking in. Like that's the only thing I can't really say was talked about.
They told their parents they were going to, let's say, a 10:00 movie.
Yeah.
If they weren't home by 12:31, the latest, aren't you wondering where they are?
Exactly. That's where you kind of wonder. And the other part too that I found interesting between both parents on both kids, neither one of them liked the other kid. So it's like, okay, you know they're out possibly with this person because they see them every day at this point, and you don't like them. Why wouldn't you wonder where the hell they're at?
Right.
I could excuse you're working and all this other stuff and whatever, but at some point you got to go to bed, right? You almost have to go, all right, they're not home yet. It's late. Where the hell are they? And a lot of these kills, like not a lot of these kills, this kill happened early in the morning, so they were out really late.
Yeah, they had to have been doing it about 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's crazy. I would have been killed if I was out that late in high school.
Yeah, tell me about it. So, yeah, these guys got put away for life. And it's not Iowa, it's Idaho. I just realized it's Idaho State Correctional Facility is where they're at. They're in the same state where they did the murder. It's Idaho, not Iowa.
So the thing is, after they were put away,
it was an I-state.
They separated them. So they haven't seen each other. They said they saw each other a couple times in passing, but they have not really talked. So when they interviewed them present day, it was separately.
Yeah.
And they both show
a lot of remorse.
They do feel sorry for it. They didn't realize back then how serious what they did was.
Spend a decade or two in prison.
Like even the one that seemed more like a psychopath, he even had remorse. So I don't know if it's just because they're locked up the rest of their lives, so now they're like, "Oh, I wish I had done that."
Life. Yeah.
Or if they really feel sorry for killing that girl.
Yeah, it's a sensitive subject because a lot of us that watch the podcast ourselves, we have kids, and you got to kind of put yourself in the parent mode. If this were to happen, what would you do with your kid? Do you continue to keep fighting the fight for them to get out, or you go, hey, you sow your seeds, now you make your bed and sleep in it, kind of thing? And I'm sorry, that's the choice you made. I wish you would have said something about this, because I'd have told you you need to go get some serious help.
Right.
And I'm going to go with you.
I mean, kids don't confide in their parents.
No, they don't.
A normal teenage thing. But that's why you got to keep checking in with your kids to see where they're at.
Yeah, they're very, very young adults.
And not excuse behavior.
No.
Because a lot of parents like to excuse little things like, oh, they're just young or they're just that.
Boys will be boys.
But, it's like, if you start noticing little things, there's nothing wrong with therapy. Maybe your kid needs to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
And if you start with the little things, you'll catch it before it's big.
That's a good point. There were some warning signs with these kids.
They were like already harming animals and stuff.
They were harming animals, and then there was that report that they wrote that somebody found where they were talking about hurting and stuff like that, and like a lot of death and destruction. Those are things like guidance counselors and teachers should be like, all right, there's something not right here. We got to get ahead of this now.
But there are some people who like to write horror, so do you want to just paint everyone who writes dark things as a future serial killer?
No.
Like little Stephen King had turned himself into
I'm not saying that. But no. This like, if you remember the documentary, it gets very, not just descriptive, they even talk about self-harm in this too. Right. When you start talking about things like that, you're kind of deviating from the path of dark and horror and just, I like the dark things and whatever. I'm becoming the dark thing a little bit.
Well, it's just, I guess you just have to pay better attention.
You do.
You
do.
The thing.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this is as close as you get to what happened in Scream. It is a very horrific event, very sad. But like I said, justice, I think, in my opinion, did prevail here. I was kind of worried at one point in the documentary. I'm like, please don't tell me these guys got off, because that would just.
I didn't think they would get off, but I thought because of their age, they would get a light sentence, like 10
years. Maybe not life, maybe 25 years or something. But I think life at this point made a lot of sense. And what was interesting during their time of incarceration right now, the Supreme Court had a ruling on teens and life sentences, but they remanded it to the states to decide. Some states changed it and let people out. Idaho was not one of them, so those guys are still locked.
And I think they're still trying to appeal.
They are,
decision,
but it's up to the state to decide. And I think they were going to write something to the governor. I don't know what happened.
I mean, and that could be why they're showing empathy and remorse in this documentary.
Yeah.
Maybe hoping it will help their appeal. So I don't know.
It didn't sway me. I hate to say it.
I don't know if it's a truthful way of how they feel, or if it's more like, let me show this so people think that we've changed or I've changed, and I'll get out of here.
They show that one guy he was in Massachusetts where he did it way earlier than these kids did. He beat that kid to death with like a bat out in the woods. Because Massachusetts was one of those states that did repeal the law. He got out. I think he was a lot older at this point. He's probably in his like 60s. But I mean, he gets, I guess, a chance of life, at the end of his life almost, but something. But I remember the mom of the kid that was slain, and I think she was EMT, you pointed out? Something like that. She was in something. But she was absolutely super upset over it.
Yeah.
And she empathized with this young girl's family, that they never want to see these kids out on the streets. Like, they deserve to be where they're at.
Right.
Because, you can do certain things, but taking someone's life, there's no do-overs here. Rob a bank, maybe assault and stupid things, that as long as you're not harming or taking someone's life, you could definitely grow out of those bad habits and make a change. But that's like the ultimate thing, the ultimate sin, if you will. You take a life,
right? You
pay with your own. I believe in that fully. I hate to say it, but can't do certain things like that.
Right. Well, they paid the price and they'll continue paying it. So it is what it is at this point.
Yep.
But I think we've covered that.
Yeah, we've covered the Scream Murders. It's a good watch. Sorry for spoilers, but if you did want to watch, the spoilers, you shouldn't have watched this long. But if you, skip through it or whatever, want to see what was next. So we will obviously be continuing on with the Horror Hideaway. I, in my meantime, are still working on lots of different short stories, couple of minutes, couple of seconds, fun things. There's a fun Bloody Mary one out there. There's a wayward-looking type Barney dinosaur thing that I'm working on. If you enjoy that sort of stuff, definitely give us a follow, comment, things like that. We love it. Follow us on the social media. You'll find it down there in just a second. We definitely enjoy doing this. We're huge horror fans. I believe for our next podcast episode, though, we're tackling the Oscars.
Yeah, we're going to do Sinners because it was a pretty big.
Oh yes,
they got a lot of wins at the awards, and I was impressed this year because horror doesn't normally win awards at the Oscars or get nominated for that fact. And this year we had a lot of horror win.
Yep.
We had Sinners took home a lot of awards.
Weapons.
Gladys won Best Supporting Actress. I forgot her actress name, but
it's okay. Gladys.
And then Frankenstein won a lot of awards for not production, for costuming, cinematography, the hair, makeup, all that kind of stuff. So
that's a beautiful movie. I know you haven't watched it yet, but we will watch it together.
But I've seen clips of it where I've seen.
Yeah, it's good. We will tackle all of these in different ways, so they're not going to be all lumped together for some long part 1 and part 2. I believe the next one is for sure going to be Sinners.
Yeah.
We will touch upon weapons.
We watched Sinners when it first came out, so we're going to rewatch it and give you our thoughts on it.
Give you some notes on it. We'll have an interesting reality bites maybe for it. And then we will do Frankenstein after that. But I think the twist with Frankenstein is we're going to watch the old school one.
Yeah, the original black and white.
Yep, Boris Karloff, all the great stuff that goes along with it, and compare it to the current one. It's obviously be vastly different, but we'll tackle it. So that's what's in store next. But if you enjoy what we do, like I said, like and subscribe, comment, follow us on all the socials. We love keeping this going. We love hearing stuff. If you guys have something in mind you want us to cover next, we'll gladly tackle it. There's an obscure horror movie you need us to see, drop a comment. We'll tackle it, give our thoughts, maybe even tying it into something with true crime. If there's something that connects, we enjoy that part of the whole show. But yeah, we'll definitely be keeping this going. So anything to add, Nick?
No, that's it. Till next time.
Yeah. Till next time, stay scared, everybody. We'll see you then. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.